everybody? Welcome to another brand new edition of T Watches a Scary Movie. My name is T, and of course we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new edition of the show. Don't forget, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to be talking the latest in movie news. I'll have an opinion piece for you. I'll have an interview for you to check out, but I'm always going to be releasing reviews throughout the week here on the channel, and the best way to stay on top of everything that I'm dropping for all of you is to get subscribed to my link tree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you go to my link tree, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page. You can catch the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms where you can catch the audio only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page for my horror gaming, getting set to play The Thing this month, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my 20% off discount off anything in the Fangoria shop, including a yearly subscription to the physical magazine. Hit that subscribe button, take advantage of everything I got for you there on my link tree. So, what are we talking about here tonight, folks? Well, we are wrapping up coverage of the After Dark Horrorfest Year 3. I started my coverage of this back in May. We've made it almost through all 8 films to die for here of the 3rd year of this festival, but I still got 2 ones left, and tonight we're going to be talking Voices, otherwise known as Someone Behind You. That's all I got left is this one and the Butterfly Effect 3, which I'm going to be talking later on this week. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button because, folks, sometime later on this month, we're going to look back here and we're going to talk about what the best in show out of year 3 of this festival ultimately is. So, let's go ahead and jump right into things here. If you haven't seen the trailer for Voices before, this tells the story of a young woman who thinks that her and her family are under some sort of curse. While members of her family start turning up dead and numerous folks around her start trying to kill her, young Guyan has to try to find out what this curse is that's affecting her family and find a way to escape from it. Now, with this film and the other ones that have come in year 3 of the After Dark Horrorfest, honestly, I didn't have my hopes up that high for it just because with the films I've seen so far this year, it's been very, very mediocre. It's been a collection of mediocre films. There's been just a couple that have managed to kind of go above and beyond, like Perkins 14 was phenomenal, but I didn't really have high hopes for this just because of the quality of the other films that came out. What surprised me here about Voices was that, number one, it seems to be the only one thus far besides the Butterfly Effect 3 that I still got to get to, that's being adapted from existing source material. You know, all the other films that we've gotten thus far in years 1 and 2 and the films that came prior to this one were all these original ideas that didn't really have anything attached to it. It wasn't a sequel, wasn't a prequel, wasn't a remake or anything like that. And with Voices, this is an adaptation of a graphic novel that was out at the time. And so this was kind of like something new for the After Dark Horrorfest because usually there hasn't been any adaptations or any continuations of anything that's already been developed. So that's new ground for sure for this festival. Now, I've never read the graphic novel and maybe someday I'll get around to doing it, but this film very much screamed a few influences from other films that came out long after it. There's a little bit of the sadness mixed in there. There's a little bit of incantation mixed in there, and believe it or not, just a little bit of Final Destination in that as well too, because we're following around Guyan throughout this film. And all this insane, brutal, bloody shit is happening around her, not only to herself, but to these people that she cares about as well, too. Like, all these people start getting killed in the most gruesome of ways. And they're not accidents or anything. Like, I know I say Final Destination, but it's not like we're talking about, like, you know, a glass pane falls on somebody, or, you know, like I don't know, a nail gun ends up in somebody's head by accident. Nothing like that, but I guess I just mean that throughout this film, it's very much about all these characters ending up in the wrong place at the right time, and that ultimately leads to an attempt on their lives. And Guyan seems to be at the center of all this, just as, well, yeah, there's all these people around her, including her family members, who are being killed in these gruesome ways. Things just continually come back to her because a number of people try to make attempts on her life. And that ends up at least making for a thrilling viewing experience, because every single time somebody tries to make an attempt on her, it's her like going through all these like crazy, insane ways of trying to escape like her own death. And it starts to get to the point to where she starts to have these premonitions of the people that are going to try to kill her, and so she can try to avoid all of this happening. And the reason why I kind of give it a bit of a comparison to The Sadness is not so much the idea that, all these people suddenly start going crazy and start trying to brutalize all the people around them. That is very much a part of this. But there was this talk for a little bit that The Sadness was like a zombie flick, just because the whole idea was if you were encountering all these people, if their blood got on you, whatever it was, you basically caught that disease as well too. And that kind of seems to be a little bit of what's going on in here, that folks who end up encountering our heroine of the film, or encounter like the people who have been affected by whatever is happening, by this curse, also seem to be afflicted by it as well. So the rules weren't exactly like, there wasn't a hard like set in stone rule set up for this, but that seemingly at least like it hinted that that's really the idea of what was going on. Like if you encounter our lead character or anybody else that had been trying to kill her, that now suddenly you're under this curse as well too. But the rules aren't very clearly stated, and I think that's the one big downfall of this film, is that there's all this talk about this curse and the investigation of it and what's causing it, but ultimately there's not really that much of an explanation behind it. Like, is it just the case of somebody wants revenge on somebody? Somebody is so angry, they're so hateful, they're so vengeful that this curse manifests itself and then it starts spreading? That took me a bit out of it, because I didn't feel like I got a firm explanation telling me why this curse was a thing in the first place. I'm okay with the killing. I'm okay with all the people getting killed off. I'm okay with this young girl fighting for her life. Like, all of that is perfectly fine. But give me a better understanding of why it's happening in the first place. Only because I think that some of you will watch it, and given the time frame that it came out, honestly, you might get some ideas of a film like The Grudge, honestly, because there are some similarities here with, family trauma and generational curses and things. There are some like subtle like nods to like films like that, honestly. But I do think that the execution is a bit better in films like The Grudge, honestly, that they very much tell you for certain this is why this curse is in place, this is why these people are being affected by it, and whether or not you enjoy the execution of it, you at least get the answers that you need. And that's where Voices kind of stumbles a bit, is that there's a lot that they show for sure, and the movie is a fun, thrilling watch for sure, but you don't get a lot of the information that you desperately want out of it, honestly. Either way, you gotta go and check it out there for yourself. Like I've mentioned with the majority of these films of year 3 of the After Dark Horrorfest, most of these are not available anywhere for free, and you're probably going to have to buy the DVD set for it like I did in order to check them all out. And I'm excited to kind of recap all of these with y'all a little bit later, like I said, this month, when I do my recap of year 3 and give you the best in show for sure. But Voices, again, only manages to slightly be above the mediocre output that we've gotten from this year's festival thus far. And I guess, considering if the majority of these films have been mediocre, then slightly above average isn't all that bad. But you're not going to miss anything if you decide to skip this one. Thus far, Perkins 14 still remains the standout of year 3 of the After Dark Horrorfest. Check it out for yourself, though. And, folks, before I forget, a chance to win a Tall Man Funko Pop. So, what I want to know here, because the next film in this festival I'm going to look at is The Butterfly Effect 3. The whole idea of the Butterfly Effect, at least from the first film, is that you can go back in time and access your memories, and you can change something small that could change everything. So, what I want to know, tell me in the comment section if you could change one small moment, one small detail from your life. What would that be? Tell me in the comment section. That's all you got to do for an entry for a chance to win a Tall Man Funko Pop. And y'all, hit that subscribe button because I got more great reviews coming for you here this week. Again, we got the Butterfly Effect 3. We're going to be doing Long Legs finally this week. And I'm going to take a look back at all 3 of Ty West's Maxine Pearl X trilogy on this week's Wednesday episode as well. So hit that subscribe button, folks. You don't want to miss that at all. But that's it for me tonight. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.
Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022 and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or Twaza. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.